This is Deborah. Today I'm going to be making some Castile soap, which is 100% olive oil. This is a really gentle soap for the skin, and it's really good for all skin types and all ages, as long as you're not allergic to olive oil. And most people are not. So like I said, this is a really mild, this is one of the best soaps I think that you could actually make, because it's 100% olive oil, and this is extra virgin olive oil that I'm going to be making this from today. The only ingredients it's going to have in it is just the lye, which is actually going to come out after a few weeks, and the olive oil. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this over the chef and get started here. Okay then, I'm going to go ahead and cut the immerger on, and I'm going to bring it to probably a thick trace, because I really want it to get a little thicker here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. To tap on my mold here to make sure to get all the air bubbles out of it. Looks like I can put just a little bit more in there. Okay. I've heard some the soap makers said that they put a heating pad underneath it so that it can go through the phases a lot faster, because it really needs to heat up. But I have a heating pad, but I don't think I've got it set up for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and cover this really good, and just wrap it up really tight with some towels and some I do have an insulated blanket that I put over it as well. So if it's hard enough, tomorrow I will come back and show you what it looks like when I cut it. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to go ahead and pour up my sample ones. I've got this little, probably shouldn't use the silicone for this, because I really want it to be able to harden up. So I'm going to go ahead and take another mold, wooden mold here, and that's lined, and go ahead and put it in there. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay. Now I know I'm left-handed here, and I'm trying to scrape this out like, okay. So let me just turn this around so that the big pot is not, should I say, the big pot's not facing, looking at you there. So I'm going to go ahead and scrape all of this out. My next project that I'm working on, I'm actually going to be doing some, making some products for my charity program. It's not anything that I have, but I have a women's shelter and for their children and the mothers that I make products for every year. And that's pretty important to me. I really love doing that, because I remember when my husband and I was really going through some hard times, this shelter basically said that they would keep us in their prayers, and that just made my day, because I was really going through some hard times at that time, and just really needed that. So they kind of stole my heart. So once a year I always like to help this shelter. I'm not allowed to say the name. I'm not sure why, but I will abide. But anyway, well, I'm not allowed to put them on my website or something like that. I can't remember, because I did call them and ask them like, oh, can I put you on my website? And they said no, I couldn't do that. But anyway, that's okay. It's not a problem. But once a year I do donate to the shelter, the women's shelter, the homeless shelter, and I just love, it just makes me feel so good. I mean, if you never donated to for a good cause, you don't know what you're missing, because it feels so amazing to be a blessing. Even if you don't have a lot, just whatever you do, those people are really grateful. The homeless people are so grateful. You just don't begin to know what it's like. But I do know what it's like to be homeless or going through some things and need help. So we all just need to show more love if we're able to. I know we all able to love, but if you're able to be a blessing to someone, it's a good idea to do that, because you won't regret it. Okay, I've burped it. So I'm going to go ahead and get off, make this video short, because it was just consist of 100% extra virgin olive oil and the lye. Hi, this is Deborah, and I'm back to show you the cut from the olive oil soap. This is 100% pure olive oil soap. And boy, it was a challenge to get out of the mold. I literally, most people say they have a really hard time with olive oil soap hardening. The second day, it was still soft. It was very soft, so I just patiently waited about 2 more days. And then it was very hard. And it was so hard I had to chisel it out of the mold. So I didn't want to waste your time to show you because I had really chiseled it out. I can say 100% that if you've never made cold processed soap and you definitely don't want to start with olive oil soap, because this is a really wonderful soap. But there's a lot of cosmetics. I better not use big words because they're not going to come out right. So let me repeat that. If you never made lye soap before and you learn, let 100% olive oil soap be your last when you get it under your belt. Because first of all, it took a long time for this soap to go through trace. And what trace is when you take in your immerser and you just going in the pot with the oils and stuff, and you're blending it together, and then you run your spoon through it, and it's still no trace. You got to keep going. Now I'm pretty comfortable with it, because it's like if I mess up, oh well, I'll try again. But it can be discouraging if you've never made cold processed soap before. So you really want to get cold processed soap under your belt before you try to make cold processed 100% olive oil soap, which is called Castile soap. You can find this Castile soap a lot of times in a liquid form. And one of the reasons for that is because usually you can use soap after 4 to 6 weeks of curing, because you've cured the life came out of it. But with the olive oil soap, you want it, the longer it cures, the better it is. In fact, there's some soap makers said that they have let it cure as long as 1 year. That's a long time. And especially if you want to test your soap a lot sooner. So I am prepared to let this 100% olive oil soap sit for a long time. I have no problem with waiting, because I basically took a piece that wasn't doing too good, and I run it under water. Even though it's not cured, I was able to run it, and it's really slimy. It didn't have any bubbles, and most of the time olive oil soap, 100% olive soap, will not have bubbles. But it felt really good. That slime feeling just, I don't know, it just had a good feeling to it still. So you just got to be prepared that it doesn't have a lot of bubbles. Maybe none. It's going to feel slimy, and it takes a long time to cure. But it's going to be worth it, because it is so good on the skin. But you just have to know about olive oil soap, Castile soap, in this form. The liquid form, you can get bubbles, because you're going to do something else, so you can have lots of bubbles. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And like I said, a lot of soap makers said that it was so soft they had to wait, a long time. and that's discouraging. But like I said, after about 2 days, the first day, the second day, which you can see this indent here, because I stuck my finger in it to see, I'm like, oh, it's still too soft. The second day, and it was still too soft. So after about 2 more days, it was really hard, so hard I could barely get it out of the mold. In fact, I had to chisel the first, like I said, I had to chisel the first couple of pieces off to get it out. So it wasn't a big deal, but just kind of preparing you for it. Also, when I cut this soap, it cuts really hard. It's cutting, but it's really hard to cut. And I'm thinking, will it break my wire here, my guitar wire? But it didn't. And I had made 2 batches of this. So the first batch, I'm like, I'm not I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna cut this off camera, because boy, this is something else. But like I said, it's really hard, and it's not soft like some people's run into. So I'm really pleased about that. But I am prepared to let it sit a while. Now, these are big cuts here. And the reason for that, because I'm going to let it sit a long time, and I think it's going to shrink some, and it's going to be perfect. These bars probably could be cut down again, but that's okay. Maybe I'll cut the next one a little bit, just a little bit smaller. I don't know. I don't have an order for this, because if I did, it was like, tell the customer, you're going to be waiting a long time for this particular soap here. But anyway, this is for personal use. So, but I am going to do a liquid Castile soap. That's probably going to come in a few days or so. But my next soap that I'm going to do is actually a pumice stone soap out of 100% Lord, the old-fashioned soap, because that's the one my mom used to make. So I'm going to try that one, and let you see how it turn out. This is a little brittle, and I'm really surprised, but I think a lot of that is because I waited for it to harden, and it really hardened up really hard. So it is cutting, but it is hard cut, and when you get down to the bottom, you actually got to press the wire to bring it out. So it's not breaking, so that's a good sign there. But I'm thinking I'm going to let it cure maybe 6 months. I don't know. I think some people say they let it cure for a whole year. I am curious to see, to let it sit. I'm going to date it, and I'm going to take a weight to weigh it to see what it weighs. And then after so long, I'm going to, you know, check it and turn it around. Because I put it on a curing rack that actually has holes on bottom side so it can breathe. Because cold processed soap really needs to breathe. You know, if I had to sell it anyway, I would sell it out of the package, because it needs to breathe. But hopefully when you get it from me, you open it up and use it, you know, not let it sit like some of my friends do, is sitting for a year or two like, hey, how'd you like that soap? Oh, girl, it was so pretty. I haven't even used it yet. Well, so much for that, you know. And my mom, I'm like, Mom, did you use the products yet? Oh, baby. There's, you know, they're right here. I'm right here looking at them. But I did use the lotion. But, you know, I went to visit her, I think it was last year. And I was cleaning and doing some work around it. And I was cleaning a cover out, and there was some melt and pour soap. And you won't begin to know what melt and pour soap do in a hot area like Alabama. Oh my goodness, that soap was so sweaty. It had sweated out of the package. I'm like, Mom, you were supposed to use this. She goes, oh, it was too pretty. So I don't send her so much soap now. I just mostly send her lotions and stuff, and I wait until she says she's, you know, she's kind of getting low, because I know they'll be just sitting. And I'm like, maybe that's why I'm not getting some reviews, because some of my customers are just letting it sit. Maybe I shouldn't make soap, you know, like some of the pretty soap they really don't use. So hopefully you use the soap, because that's what it's made for. And if you're going to let it sit as, oh man, that's really hard. Hope it doesn't break my wire. That's a little nervous wrecking there. Oh my goodness, that's really hard. And that's right at the end, so there it goes. I'm like, oh my goodness, is it going to break my wire? but it didn't. It works fine. There we go. So there you have it. This is my, that piece really cut kind of hard because it was like really fighting to cut. So this is my Castile 100% olive oil soap. And I can't wait to use it. But I've got a long wait, and that's okay. I just, you know, as a soap maker, you want to try all the different soaps. Every soap you hear about, every soap you've grown up with, like the large soap my mom made in that big pot. So I want to make that one with some Pumice Stone. I've made Pumice Stone soap, but not with 100% lard. So that's my next soap to try, the old-fashioned Pumice Stone soap. So there you have it. This has been quite a challenge, but it's been fun, and thank you for watching this video, being on this journey with me. Okay then, have an awesome day. Bye now.